Welcome, sports fans, to Curious Formula. We're here to talk about the Democrats are soft. You heard me right. The Democrats are soft. Everyone is in a brouhaha about the Biden debate and what's supposed to happen afterwards. We're going to talk about 5 things that need to happen post-debate. 5 things that need to happen. But first, please make sure you subscribe, like, and comment here. Make sure you join what we're building here. We're building it as we fly, and coming in late July, we're going to have a whole new team, and we're going to see some professional points and pictures and bells and whistles added to our narratives here. But until that time, look at our old platform videos, both live and other ones that have been memorialized here. But let's get into it right now. So, Democrats are soft. Everyone is wringing their hands. Everybody is haranguing. Everybody is crying. Everybody is soiling their underwear. Everybody is calling for Biden to leave the race. Yes, President Joe Biden had a terrible, one of the worst performances on a debate stage of any modern president in recent history. I can't think of a worse performance that he had. And it just kind of put into direct target and directly in the front and mind of those of us who have been saying for a long time, is Joe Biden capable? And if you watch my content here, I told you that the Biden campaign calling for this early debate was a double-edged sword, right? On one hand, if he does average, reasonably well, he would probably end the campaign as we know it, because as we witnessed during the debate, Donald Trump didn't answer any of the 13 plus odd questions that were posed to him. He used every opportunity to slam and beat and humiliate and criticize everything that Joe Biden did. And he lied about his own record. That has been fact-checked a million times by third-party sources, not mainstream media, not Democratic sources. Third-party sources with no horse in the race have said he lied. So he didn't answer questions and he lied. And if Joe Biden had just been somewhat lucid, had been somewhat have an ability to answer questions and to be direct and to chart a vision for the future and to bring it back into our remembrance, the things he was able to accomplish, which are large and in charge in terms of the numbers and the sheer weight of what he's been able to accomplish, he would have wiped the floor off with him. But what we saw Donald Trump do was he didn't have to answer any questions, right? He literally mopped the floor up with Joe Biden and attacked him because he didn't have to answer any questions. He didn't have to put forth a vision of where he wanted to take the country. It was a strict butt whipping, and the president had no ability to withstand and to fight back. And that is the real crime of this. But here's what happened. After the debate, the Democrats said the sky is falling. Chicken Little walking around wearing blue, literally saying the sky is falling, woe is us, he's got to leave the race. Not only that, the House people are saying something. Then the Democrats in the Senate saying something. And then there are people who want to be the candidate saying stuff. And then there's the donors saying stuff, right? And we have nothing from the DNC executive council, nothing from the executive board of the Democratic Party, nothing, no direction, the campaign saying things, not saying things. Then Joe Biden's considering leaving, then he says he's not. Then it's Joe Biden is screaming and the Biden family screaming and hollering at the people running the campaign, and then that's not. Like, there is confusion everywhere you look, everywhere you turn with this Democratic Party and with this Biden campaign. And folks, it shows us one thing that the Republicans have been saying for a long time and that independents have been worried about. The Democratic Party nationally, the DNC, is as soft as baby poo, and it's on display for us. Can you imagine what would have happened if the shoe was on the other foot? We experienced the shoe on the other foot. You know what it was called? 34-count conviction in the hush money trial in New York City against Donald Trump. Folks, let's juxtapose what the Democrats have done post-Biden meltdown debate and what the Republicans did post 34-count criminal conviction of Donald Trump. First of all, the Republicans planned for months before this verdict came down about what they would say, what they would do, and the discipline it would take if he was convicted. So what did you hear happen before the conviction? Donald Trump had a press conference every night talking about the judge, talking about the judge's daughter, talking about the jury, talking about Alvin Bragg, talking about the DA's office, talking about liberal media, talking about Joe Biden having a say and politicizing the criminal justice system, talking about what would happen in this nation if it was a conviction. And the talking points that he said at every press conference were the talking points of the Senate Republicans, of the House Republicans, of every right-wing media outlet that you can talk about on social media platforms and in the mainstream and Fox Entertainment and Newsmax and the like. And they repeated the same drum beat. They repeated the same arguments. They read off the same sheet music. And what happened when the guilty verdict came down? They had new arguments to talk about. They all said the exact same thing. They tightened up the ranks. They went shoulder to shoulder, and they marched against anybody who dared doubted their take on the convictions. What did the Democrats do? The complete opposite. A meltdown of historic proportions where we don't know what's going on, what's being said, what's actually happening. Will he be the nominee? Will he not be the nominee? I think he should stay on. I think he should be dropped out. It's like The Exorcism with the head spinning around on the main character if you are a Democrat. Well, folks, there are 5 things that need to happen here. 5 quick things that I want to talk about and I want to hear your reaction to. First of all, where the hell is Jamie Harrison, the head of the Democratic National Committee? First thing is, Jamie Harrison, the head of the party, needs to do his job and shut down the DNC. There needs to be discipline, and nobody should be speaking out of turn that does not get the license to do so by the head of the Democratic Party. And that's Jamie Harrison. The buck stops with the head, the executive director of the party. There is no way in hell that the House Democrats should be saying one thing and the Senate Democrats should be saying something else. And Mark Warner can go about the task of trying to get Democratic senators to discuss what their future is. And then the governor's group is talking. And then the Biden campaign's making meetings with this group and that group. And then the donors are speaking out of turn about what they're not going to support and who they are going to support. And then we all know that each party has their own set of broadcasters and folks who are loyal to the party message. They're even flailing their arms talking about this and talking about that. There needs to be discipline and control, and it starts with the head of the Democratic Party. He needs to be getting message shut down, get everybody on the same sheet music, reading off the same script, and repeating and regurgitating the same things on social media, on all the platforms. And it should be one message, one voice, one beat, one band, and we should all be doing it from the direction of the party. That's the first thing it needs to happen. The second thing that needs to happen, that same Jamie Harrison, that same executive board of the DNC needs to appoint 5 people to liaison the Biden campaign immediately. Somebody to be the DNC liaison, somebody to be the Democratic governors and battleground states liaison, somebody to be the Dem House rep, somebody to be the Dem Senate rep, and somebody to be the donors rep. And those 5 people alone should be part of the communication process to the grassroots, to the campaign, to social media folks who are on our side and the other like, and they should be all dictating Biden's campaign schedule from morning to dusk, from dusk to dawn, every single day. They should be the ones having veto power and the ones making suggestions about what needs to happen and actually shutting down bad ideas, working with the Biden campaign. We need that level of discipline or this is all for naught. The third thing that needs to happen is the Biden campaign needs to happen every day until Election Day. You know how usually these campaigns start in earnest in Labor Day, when after the parties' respective conventions. You don't get that leeway right now. You don't have that ability right now to allow that kind of gap of time. Joe Biden needs to campaign like the general election has started because guess what? In earnest, it has. Joe Biden is now 6 points down amongst voters most likely to vote. That is the biggest gap, the biggest lead Donald Trump has had over any Democratic opponent since 2016. And the reality is that if you look around the world, and the BBC has talked about this, right? there are two types of elections that are happening right now around the world. People are either voting progressive and to the left, or they're going hard right. And the incumbents, though, are losing their shirt. Look at South Africa. Look at just what happened in England, in Great Britain, right? Incumbents are losing their shirt. Why? Because inflation is worldwide, and coming out of COVID, these incumbents have not been able to beat inflation down, and they're paying the price at the ballot box. There is no time off right now, particularly after that debate performance, and particularly how we look at how international leaders are falling in foreign countries all around the world. And so there needs to be a daily campaign schedule, no days off. He just better go to bed early every night. But he's got a campaign in ways that that group of five that I was talking about needs to be developing in terms of his time frame. The fourth thing that needs to happen is attack, attack, attack. If the Biden campaign has had money put into their budget after Labor Day to attack for the final 2 months, that money needs to be brought up to the forefront right now and spent attacking Donald Trump. And I mean getting in the mud with Donald Trump. I mean, if you can't put stuff on commercials, you better start planting stuff in social media. You better start getting your social media people to start putting out stuff on a daily basis to knock this guy down. The way you give somebody down who had a bump as big as Donald Trump post-debate is you got to go negative. You got to throw the mud. Sorry, Michelle Obama. I loved your first lady. But when they go low, we got to go lower. And the time to do that is right now. The fifth thing and last thing is because accomplishments and his vision for the next 4 years. Listen, people were not paying attention to this campaign until the debate happened. And now people are watching Joe Biden at every step of the way. How he moves, the vacant look on his face, right? How he speaks. Is he missing things? Is he doing that pause that he does because he might stutter? They're going to see that as a pause because he is not all there at the same time, right? Everything has to be scripted, but because everyone is watching everything that he does, this is a great opportunity, a unique time that he can actually wax poetic and long about all of the accomplishments that he has done over these 3.5 years, and to start talking about what he wants to do in the next 4 years. Folks, this is exactly what Donald Trump is not going to do. And if he wants to make a juxtaposition, if he wants to show the difference between his campaign and Donald Trump's campaign, about his record and Donald Trump's record, about what his vision is for the next 4 years versus what Donald Trump's vision is for the next 4 years, this is the opportunity to do it because people are actually paying attention. People are actually watching. People are craving for a reason to vote for you, Joe Biden. And let me end it with just that particular statement. Folks, there are people in this nation, mostly independents and definitely Democrats, who want a reason to vote for Joe Biden because they think that Donald Trump is just not even an option, not even an alternative. Some people even see him as an existential threat, not only to democracy, but to the republic itself when you look at Project 2025. We'll talk about Donald Trump disavowing 2025. Smart guy when he's campaigning. But there are people who are looking for anything. All Joe Biden has to do is have a pulse. What a great opportunity this is for him to not only show that he has a pulse, but to wax poetic and tell people specifically what he's done and actually get people a vision about what he wants to do in the future. Something that the Trump campaign does not want to do, which is why they're going to hop on those three things. That he cannot physically or mentally serve in the office. That's their best defense. That's their best argument that they got. It's not what Donald Trump is going to do. It's not even what his record has been. It's that Joe Biden cannot serve. And they're going to double down on that. And so all he has to do is look lucid. And as people watch, he can actually talk about the things he's done. He can actually talk about the things he plans on doing. And if he can do that, people will always drink the clean water and reject the dirty water each and every time. But that's what I think. Tell me what you think. Subscribe, like, and comment below. Stay curious and remember, think. It ain't illegal yet. I'm out.